So you're telling me that this guy traded a paperclip all the way up to a house? How is that even possible? A colleague of mine once said to me, there is no point in investing because you need money to make money, and if you don't have any money, then what's the point? So how can we generate spare money in order to invest? Making money on the side is often referred to as a side hustle. And before I tell you about one of the most amazing side hustles of them all, I'll share with you 3 of my own which had varying degrees of success. Before I started investing, I didn't have any spare money, so I needed to earn some on the side. My first idea? I decided to try and become a professional chess player. Don't laugh, I was deadly serious. First I did my research, but the number of books I would have to read was endless and it seemed like a bottomless pit. I focused on just 2 strategies, the French defence and the English opening, and I absorbed as much knowledge on these as I could. The first 2 tournaments were a disaster, but I continued. We learn really useful stuff when we make mistakes. Eventually I started winning, but the problem was the better I became, the more stronger the opponents I was paired with. So after several years, my career earnings was only £100. I quit this side hustle because I was worried that my brain would eventually explode. It was time to try something else. This time I would try to make my fortune by becoming a beekeeper. I saw these busy little creatures always working. I've never seen a lazy bee. But what if they worked for me? So I bought a hive and all the equipment and put my new friends to work. It was a hobby that paid for itself. I sold the honey to family and friends, but everyone soon came back for more, saying not only did it taste nice, but eating honey from the area they lived in seemed to cure them from hay fever. I then bought a second hive and doubled my profits. All was going well with this little business. I made about £1,000 profit over 2 years, and I was making people very happy in the process. Until one day, without warning, all my bees flew away without even saying goodbye. My third side hustle was definitely my best while it lasted and made me about £6,000 of profit in a single year. It gave me some funds to start my investing career. I went to computer auctions and bought second-hand laptops, then went to another and bought batteries and put them in nice little cases. Then I downloaded and printed off instructions. This all cost me £100 and I sold them for £300. I was now ready to scale up the business, but in the blink of an eye, the auction started to disappear with the arrival of internet auction sites. This meant I could no longer check the equipment before bidding, and so my side hustle, literally overnight, went up in flames. In all these side hustles, I was initially doing well, but often things change, and what once seemed like an endless pot of gold eventually vanished. Just look at what happened to the likes of Nokia, BlackBerry and Kodak. Nothing lasts forever, and these companies simply didn't adapt fast enough. They went from unlimited riches to a barren wasteland. One of the best books I've read on dealing with change is Who Moved My Cheese? It sold over 28 million copies and would take you under an hour to read and could change your whole outlook. Now I'll tell you about one of the most amazing side hustles ever. In 2005, Canadian Kyle MacDonald was jobless and didn't have a house. His story showed what human imagination and determination can do when he traded a red paperclip all the way up into a 2-story house in just 1 year. How did he do this? The first step was to place the paperclip on a bartering website to see if anyone would swap the paperclip for something. 2 young women from Vancouver found an old novelty pen buried in the ground on a camping trip, and they offered to swap it for the paperclip. Kyle was on his way. Little did he know that 13 similar trades later, he would have the house of his dreams. Next, he traded the pen for a homemade doorknob from a man in Seattle. He then went to Massachusetts to barter the doorknob for a portable cooking stove. Onwards to California, and a US Marine sergeant agreed to swap the stove for a 100-watt generator. Kyle now took a trip to New York to exchange the generator for a beer keg and neon sign, a kind of instant party kit. A comedian and radio personality decided to swap his snowmobile for the party kit. The snowmobile was swapped for a holiday trip, and the holiday trip swapped for a large van. Kyle then exchanged the van for a recording contract, which was then swapped for 1 year rent-free living in Phoenix, Arizona. This was swapped for an afternoon with Alice Cooper. Then it appeared that Kyle had taken a backward step when he exchanged the afternoon with Alice Cooper with a snow globe. But it turned out that acquiring the snow globe was a stroke of genius, when one of the biggest snow globe collectors in the world wanted it, and also happened to be a movie producer, and Kyle was offered a Hollywood movie role in return for the snow globe. Kyle then traded the movie role with not one person, but the whole town of Kipling in Canada, as the town decided they would like one of its residents to have a part in the movie and make the town famous. Kyle was offered a 2-story house for the movie role. This side hustle demonstrates the power of human imagination, determination, and of course a bit of luck along the way. What side hustles have you tried? Let us know in the comments box, and thanks for watching.